Well, joining us now is Gordon Chang, columnist, author, senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute, Great American. Gordon, let's start with, first of all, aren't you proud of Senator Cruz? He is really stepping to the front of the spear in this effort to defend the United States from the Chinese communists. Your thoughts?
Absolutely proud of Senator Cruz, and he was absolutely right. You know, nobody should serve as Commerce Secretary unless they're willing to commit to the Senate and to the American people that they'll keep Huawei and other Chinese companies on the entity list. Huawei is a danger to the United States. It's a danger to our allies and friends and partners. It's going to steal the world's data, as it's been trying to do. It's going to try to manipulate devices on the 5th generation wireless communication networks. Senator Cruz is absolutely right.
You know, I'm struck also by President Xi Jinping's warning to President Biden to not be confrontational, to not confront the Chinese, whether referring to the South China Sea, whether it is on the failure of Chinese container ships to pick up U.S. agricultural products to ship to China. It looks to me like the confrontation is originating again with the Chinese, and the good president of Communist China is, well, playing a PR game.
Yes, and people in the region in Asia know that Xi Jinping is testing Biden. The Chinese don't respect him. They think they can push him around. And as we saw from the Commerce Secretary nominee, I think Beijing believes they don't even have to lift a finger these days. So this is one of those dangerous moments, Lou, where China is really arrogant.
And China telling Taiwan that independence would mean war. This, along with the overflights and all of the naval activities in the South China Sea, China is really pressing, as you say, testing President Biden, but also pressing U.S. interests in a way that is a new level for even their expansionary foreign policy.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. What we have seen, of course, those two very belligerent air provocations on Saturday and Sunday against Taiwan. Now with Xi Jinping's warning to Taiwan, which really is a warning to President Biden. So right now, the Chinese think that they can do what they want. And that makes this one of those times where things can go really wrong. Because when dictators don't respect leaders of democracies, that's when we have these really big wars in history. And so Biden right now is under the spotlight because the Chinese just think that they can kick him.
And right now, the Chinese own a majority of the freighters, the container ships that traverse the global routes to every continent, is refusing to pick up U.S. At primarily the western ports, the western U.S. ports, to pick up agricultural products that have been bought, that are part of the Phase 1 trade agreement, and they are turning back some $1 billion in agricultural products because they want to hurry home, they say, to pick up more goods to export to the United States. It's remarkable what we're witnessing here, the gall, if you will, of the communist Chinese.
And this also shows the folly of those people who believed in globalization, that the United States didn't need to own chips, that the United States could depend on China for pharmaceutical products. This list just goes on and on, Lou, of how people thought that we could just live in a world with peace with the communist regime, and it's proven not to be the case. And that's why this point is one where the United States is in jeopardy. We cannot assume that we're going to get through this.
Now, President Trump led this country to energy independence and was on his way to creating balanced trade around the world, not just with China. But we are now watching, for example, without even hesitation, 48 lobbyists, K Street lobbyists, banding together to support Congresswoman Liz Cheney. There is just no shame on the part of the donor class, the corporate America, the U.S. multinationals, Wall Street, they, and of course big tech, they mean to have their will work. And they're more aligned, frankly, the radical left and particularly big tech, Wall Street, with the Chinese policies, economic policies, than they are with the previous administration's economic policies, which drove this country to a level of prosperity we hadn't, that was unprecedented, really. Your thoughts?
And you've been talking for years, Lou, about how corporate America, the chambers of commerce and Wall Street, really saw that their interests were aligned with communist China and with others that meant the United States harm. And they felt they had more interest with elites in those regimes than they did with American workers. So we had a lot of administrations prior to Trump that really put the American worker last. And you know, right now we're seeing the emergence of these forces again. And this is dangerous for our democracy.
Gordon Chang, always great to have you with us. Thanks for being with us, Gordon. Good to see you.